Hello Mass Effect fans and welcome back to the channel today to Lockhart QT. Today I've got something truly exciting to discuss with you. I'm going to predict the upcoming titles that could be either the main title or the subtitles for the next Mass Effect game. So let's get right into it.
Lockhart QT.
Alright, so we have theory number 1. The Mass Effect series has left us with some unforgettable experiences. For me personally, I think Mass Effect 2 is one of the greatest video games of all time. I'd argue and say it's in my top 5. And the next installment is highly anticipated because we have rumours of it going back to the classic gameplay, potentially featuring Commander Shepard and some of the old characters from the original trilogy, as well as incorporating things from Mass Effect Andromeda. But here today I wanted to present you a list of potential titles, both rumoured, speculated, leaked, as well as just general ones that I've come up with on the spot that BioWare might consider or have already got, in the plans and it's already chosen. Keep in mind that some of these are just theories and speculations, so take them with a grain of salt for now, but let's get started with number 1. My first theory for a title is Mass Effect Horizons. I feel like for a subtitle or, like a new trilogy, so to speak, if that's what BioWare are going for, I feel like Mass Effect Horizons would be a good one. I was going to put New Horizons, but then obviously, Animal Crossing, so I can't really take that. But in my opinion, Mass Effect Horizons suggests a broader scope for the game, exploring new frontiers in the Mass Effect universe, new planets, meeting new species, and the title Horizons might symbolise a new beginning for the series, which this game is. I mean, at the end of the day, you've got Mass Effect 1, 2 and 3, which is, in my opinion, the greatest trilogy in gaming. I know that's a big claim there, but I do mean it. And then obviously you got Andromeda, which sort of dropped the ball a little, didn't do as well, especially with the critics and the hardcore Mass Effect vets and fans. But I think if they were to go into a new trilogy, I think if they went with Mass Effect, so something like Mass Effect Horizons, then you had, if it did well, then you had a sequel potentially, so you had Horizons 2, Horizons 3. I think that would be something great to symbolise a new beginning for the series that would draw back old fans as well as bring in new ones as well. Theory number 2 is Mass Effect Andromeda 2. Next up, we have obviously a sequel to Mass Effect Andromeda. At this moment in time, we have nothing confirmed by BioWare regarding the timeline, the scale, or when the next game is set. Now, we've heard things from insiders and all over the place, really. We've heard loads of different things, but because we've basically heard that it could be shortly after Mass Effect 3's ending. We've heard that it could be taking place during Andromeda's timeline. I've also heard that it could be taking place in both Milky Way and Andromeda during 100 years after Mass Effect 3. So again, it's all over the place. Until we hear something from BioWare, we know nothing currently. I mean, after the release of the original Andromeda, some fans actually want BioWare to revisit the Andromeda Galaxy with gameplay, storytelling, maybe bring back the Ket and sort of do them justice, because a lot of things, for me, I enjoyed Andromeda, didn't love it. I didn't come out of it like Mass Effect 2, thinking that it changed my life, but Andromeda was still, it's a decent experience. It's an okay experience. It's not, game of the year by any shape of the imagination, but it's a lot of people want to revisit an Andromeda, and I understand that completely. For me personally, I'd rather they do a Mass Effect 4 or 5, which I'll get onto in a bit. But personally, for me, I think that this would be a death sentence. If they brought out Andromeda 2, this game would be dead on launch. For them to save the title, for it to be like full-on Mass Effect Andromeda 2, word for word, letter for letter, number for number, I feel like if the game came out at launch, the people, the casual gamers who maybe they didn't play Andromeda but they saw all the memes online of the game being absolutely clowned on at launch for the glitches, the facial animations, being rushed out the door, things like that. I feel like the casual audience would they'd be like, why are they making an Andromeda 2? Oh, I don't want to buy that. I heard Andromeda was bad. So I feel like EA and BioWare won't do this just simply for that fact. Next up is theory number 3, title number 3 being Mass Effect New Galaxies. This one, in my opinion, is a bit simplistic. I prefer Mass Effect Horizons, but I've chucked this in here as this would be based off the theory that we could potentially, be going to the Milky Way galaxy and Andromeda in the same game. So it would be the Milky Way cast going to Andromeda. I've got no idea how they'd even implement that, because obviously it took the initiative 600 years to get to Andromeda, but hey ho. Mass Effect New Galaxies could sort of signify as well the exploration of uncharted territories in both the Milky Way and Andromeda, and obviously taking us beyond the Milky Way to discover new mysterious planets, beings and other things. Title number 4, theory number 4 is Mass Effect Dark Matter or Dark Energy. Now, there's a theory that's been circulating for a while. This is all the way, this is going all the way back to sort of when the game was announced back in 2020, being we could potentially be getting a title such as, or a new sort of offshoot sequel series being called Dark Energy or Dark Matter. Dark Energy has been a mysterious force in the Mass Effect lore and universe. It is featured in all 4 main installments, being obviously 1, 2, 3 and Andromeda, and a game with this in the title could delve into its secrets and could use Dark Energy, Dark Matter as the sort of maybe like a bigger resource. It would get a main spotlight in the series, and it would drive both returning and new characters going forward in the story. Theory number 5, Mass Effect Survivor. Now, I'm not going to lie to you, I'm just about to start playing Jedi Survivor, so I kind of I thought, well, what could signify survival or something like that? So either something like Mass Effect Survivor or Mass Effect Survival. This title might imply that our beloved characters have faced insurmountable odds and they are the last hope for survival. It could add a sense of urgency and tension to the game, sort of like in Mass Effect 3. And it's really interesting, this title, because we've heard lots of theories of Shepard could be coming back, Tali, Garrus, Liara, Joker, EDI, etc. could be coming back. And I feel like if they had a title like Mass Effect Survivor, I recently did a what if video, if they did a Mass Effect, if Mass Effect 4 or 5, whatever the next title was going to be, is actually, it takes the refusal ending from Mass Effect 3 and makes that canon. And going forward, I think this game would be the title. So this title would be the one that you'd use for that game, because it would essentially be humanity surviving and the other races surviving the Reapers, and then the Reapers come back, and then you've got that into the equation. Personally, though, this one's just been chucked in for fun. I don't think the refusal ending will be canon at all. It was just a sort of fun what-if scenario, but Mass Effect Survivor, there you go. And the last 2 here, these are like the ones that everyone's been using for the time being Mass Effect 4 or Mass Effect 5. Now, this gets really interesting depending on who you speak to. So I've been calling the game Mass Effect 4 just purely for the fact that that's what most people are searching for online when they're looking for the next Mass Effect. They're either calling it the next Mass Effect or Mass Effect 4. However, there have been loads of hints that the next game internally, at least, is called Mass Effect 5. So really 2 good examples of this are in some of the concept art. You can see things like SFX5 or just loads of number 5s and things like that, as well as in the actual metadata for some of the trailers, it straight up says SFX5. Now, I know you wouldn't. If you don't know, you're probably wondering, what the hell is he on about, SFX? Well, before Mass Effect was called Mass Effect, it was actually called Science Fiction X, and a lot of the games internally, before they're actually released, are codenamed SFX 1, 2, 3, 4. And we did actually know that Andromeda internally, before the title was chosen, was actually called Mass Effect 4. So this could imply that the next game is Mass Effect 5. And I think if they wanted to draw a lot of returning fans and veterans and die-hard Mass Effect fans back, not only have they released the Legendary Edition, so they said, here's your 3 games that you prefer remastered and in the best condition they've ever been in, as well as here's Mass Effect 5, which is a continuation of both Mass Effect 3 and Andromeda, which is our 4th game. So again, either that or they just go with Mass Effect 4 and they just say, oh, the game takes place 10 years after Mass Effect 3 or 100 years after Mass Effect 3 and it's called Mass Effect 4, because again, that would draw a lot of the casual audience back, because they go, oh my god, it's a main numbered sequel. I think I better get this. I really liked Mass Effect 3. I better get Mass Effect 4. It's that sort of thing, really. And this could indicate a direct continuation either of the original trilogy or be another fresh start for the series. So Mass Effect fans, those are my predictions for the next Mass Effect game title. I've already done a video previously. I can't remember if it was last year or this year. You'll have to forgive me. I've done quite a lot on whether the game should be called 4 or 5. But which one do you think is most likely out of the list that I presented? And do you have your own theories? Please let me know in the comments below. You know, drop those titles. I want to see some really creative ones. And I want to see some joke ones as well. You know, like Andromeda 2 Electric Boogaloo, or like Mass Effect 3.5, things like that. So let me know in the comments below, what do you think the next Mass Effect game will be called? And another question I've got for you guys, do you prefer to call it Mass Effect 4 or Mass Effect 5? Thank you very much for joining me today. I can't wait to see what BioWare has in store for us with our next big adventure into the Mass Effect universe. Until then, stay tuned, and I hope that you have a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.